I want to tell you a story that I just kind of ended up in my memory bank, a story my teacher told me while I was in the eighth grade. And the name of the story is called The Man Without a Country. And I thought I'd read a summary to you about this. It's about 5 minutes. So I'll start now. The protagonist is a young United States Army Lieutenant, Philip Nolan, who develops a friendship with the visiting Aaron Burr. When Burr is tried for treason, Nolan is tried as an accomplice. During his testimony, he bitterly renounces his nation, angrily shouting, "I wish I may never hear of the United States again." The judge is completely shocked at this announcement, and on convicting him, icily grants him his wish. Nolan is to spend the rest of his life aboard the United States Navy warships in exile with no right ever again to set foot on the U.S. soil, and with explicit orders that no one shall ever mention his country to him again. The sentence is carried out to the letter. For the rest of his life, Nolan is transported from ship to ship, living out his life as a prisoner on the high seas, never once allowed back in his home port. Though he is treated according to his former rank, nothing in his country is ever mentioned to him again. None of his sailors in whose custody Nolan remains is allowed to speak to him about the U.S., and his newspapers are censored. Nolan is unrepentant at first, but over the years becomes sadder and wiser and desperate for news. One day, as he is being transformed to another ship, he beseeches a young sailor never to make the same mistake that he had. "Remember, boy, that behind all these men, behind officers and government and people even, there is the country herself, your country, and that you belong to her as you belong to your own mother. Stand by her, boy, as you would stand by your mother." On one ship, such ship, he attends a party in which he dances with a young lady, and he asks the young lady about the United States, and she withdraws and never to see him again. Deprived of a homeland, Nolan slowly and painfully learns the true worth of his country. He misses it more than his friends or family, more than the art of music or love of nature. Without it, he is nothing. Dying aboard the USS Lafayette, he shows his room to an officer named Danforth. It is a little shrine of patriotism. The stars and stripes are draped around a picture of George Washington. Over his bed, Nolan has painted a bald eagle with lightning blazing from its beak and claws grasping the globe. At the foot of his bed is an outdated map of the United States, showing many of its old territories that he had, unbeknownst to him, been admitted to statehood. Nolan smiles. "Here, you see, I have a country." The dying man asks desperately to be told the news of American history since 1807, and Danforth finally relates to him almost all of the major events that have happened to the U.S. since his sentence was imposed. The narrative confesses that I could not make up my mouth to tell him a word about his infernal rebellion. Nolan then asked to bring his copy of the Presbyterian Book of Public Prayer and read the pages where it will automatically open. These are the words: "Most heartily we beseech thee, thy favor to behold and bless thy servant, the President of the United States, and all others in authority." Nolan says, "I have repeated those prayers night and morning. It is now 55 years. Every day he had read of the United States, but only in the form of a prayer to uphold its leaders. The U.S. Navy had neglected to keep this book from him. This is the supreme irony of the story." I'm running out of video time, but this story, and he goes on and he dies, and he asks that he be thrown into the sea. But he asked that either in Mississippi or in New Orleans, there would be a tombstone for him, a burial, a tombstone, in remembrance of him, this man who hated his country, but later began to understand how valuable and how beautiful and wonderful the United States of America is. There are many of you out there that do not love your country. You need to reevaluate. You need to reevaluate now, because you live in the greatest country to ever grace the face of this earth of all time. Thank you. And in this story, it was also this this what happened, this historic story. What happened was 16 years after the First Amendment became law of the land. Thank you for listening to me, and please love your country. Love her with a passion. Perhaps even love her more than you would have men, that you would have love for a woman. Because our country is such a wonderful, wonderful place. I don't see people lining up in other national borders waiting to get in. It's the wonderful United States of America. The people are lined up wanting in. We should let them in and kick all the rest of you out that don't love this country. Just go. Professional athletes, I have no respect for you. Will a leader arise? Will there be many Charles Barkleys and other leaders arise amongst you? I have zero respect for you big, strong, fast babies. Thank you.